Information and Technology, Hyderabad. He is an eminent thinker. His areas of interest are arts, formal ontology, scientific study of consciousness, foundations of logic, mathematics and linguistics, crossroads of science and Indian analytic traditions, history, philosophy of science, perhaps one of the most diversely talented person. He has 30 years of hands-on experience in teaching. He has delivered lectures in several platforms nationally and internationally, and he has been a guide to several art research scholars. I would now request Navjyoti ji to grace the occasion. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad to be here, and it was a very delightful occasion to be here. For one thing, I was absolutely delighted to see Uzrama being honored for a kind of cloth whose stories go back to 20 years, and when it was being taught to, and I happened to be in that situations, and I'm doubly delighted to be here. One, sort of it's the first time, in a sense, I'm lecturing in Hyderabad, outside, and so the kind of thing I'm going to say, being more into thinking and the art of thinking rather than anything else, which I do, I'm going to think about origin of arts in a very owlish kind of way. So, there was an owl I wanted to show. Sajid? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Yeah, I didn't look back. This is a owl from the hills. It's from Bhutan, this owl. And I'm going to look at understanding origin of art from the eyes of an owl. And this owl is one sort of living form which can look very far and very quickly. And when there is nobody can look, owl can look into those places. And owl, when it looks, it reaches those places of interest, and what does it do? It eats atoms of those places. It eats up. This is an image. This is of Kanad and Uluk are synonymous terms. What all does is to look at origins, to look at origins of things, including origin of art. So I just want to have a look at this, you people to have a look at this Bhutanese owl. It's on the hills. And let's have the next slide. Okay, this is a Bhutanese owl, and in various environments. The next, and this is that Bhutanese owl, hilly owl, and it has inside something inside. And the next, something inside is the type of things it eats, and it digests. Those things are there inside. this owl. And the next one. And what's really inside the owl is a book. Inside the owl is a book. This is a sort of, I think, a great piece of art, because a very deep stories of understanding it tells. One of the thing, can I have the next one? One of the thing it could say is a story from Gandhar. A story from Gandhar. And this is a story, it's another portion of the hills from Afghanistan and Punjab. Other portion, this owl was there also in Afghanistan or Gandhar. This is a story of a Navjyoti, to be able to reach Sifar and reach and look at the depth and then consume it. It's a story told by owl, and it tells us about what really art is. What is the activity we call art? There was a time when there was a king, and one thing very peculiar about those times and the kingdom and the polity there was that nobody ever died a timeless death. Nobody ever died a death before it was due. That was utopia that society was on the hill. In that utopia, there was a king whose name was Bhaijit, who has conquered all fears. Such a king used to be there. And things were going fine, except one day somebody came and accused the king that there is something wrong with your polity. What is wrong with your polity, or something you did, or populace here did, that my young son died a premature death. A very bright boy, very young, full of promise, and just died. There is something wrong with your polity. I mean, your utopia. But Bhaijit couldn't work out what's wrong with it, what's wrong with the things. So he went to Yamlok straight and demanded that this boy be returned. Either you return this boy back from the domains of death, or tell me what's wrong with my polity. What is wrong with my polity? Either way. So Yamraj said, look, I don't decide. Who dies, I don't decide. You better go to somebody else. I just execute. I don't meddle with such things. He said, nonetheless, you are a pointsman. You did this act. Whoever is behind you making decisions, please find out from those people what's wrong with my polity, or return back that boy. So anyway, he was a fearless king, and the arguments went on, and there was a war, a massive war between earthlings and people from Parlok. There was a massive war. And who were there in Parlok? The things, entities which existed, which is under command of Yamraj. These entities were nagnas, all the nude things. Because whatever, like people who live with whatever colors they live in life, in the end, they have to leave all these colors and become bare. So Yamlok was made of people who were just bare, minimal, just nagnas. All the things which have been denuded lived in that lok. Whatever is denuded, anything which is departed and departed from this, they lived in that Yamlok. This anyway, but there was a fearless king with fearless army. They all were, entire kingdom was demanding, tell us what's wrong with our kingdom, or give back the boy. Well, when the war went on, it was a massive war, and the war led to receding of Parlok. I mean, all these denuded beings were losing out. And looking at this, Brahma sat up and said, no, it has to be intervened. I mean, this can't go on. We can't let people who are clothed in materials, who have all the materials around them, these people take over something like a Parlok. We can't afford that. Parlok must live in, because they were losing the war. And there was a massacre of Parlok happening. Then Brahma intervened. The moment they saw there was ceasefire, complete ceasefire in his respect, and both gave their argument. Yamaraj said, please tell him something, give him some lessons. No, I don't decide, I don't know what is, how can I find out? I'm not supposed to find out what's wrong with his kingdom. I am doing my job. Please explain this character. And he said, look, I'm not asking for anything. I'm in my kingdom, the happenings were all good. Everything was going fine. Till this happened. And I'm just saying, please help me. Find out what's wrong with me. And there was such a big fight. And in this fight, Brahma gave a solution. The solution was that you cannot look, whatever the world works, Parlok must remain and Ihalok also must remain. Both must be there. There is no question, one can't, there is no method in the world, there are no laws in the world that a person who is dead can be sent back. This is not allowed. This is not done. But what one can do is, I can learn, I can send back that person, provided it has a different body, not the same body which it departed from. That person is in, bare person is in Parlok, and it can come back only if it has an entirely different body. And the body was canvas, and the body was pigments. He taught Bhaijit the art of painting. Now this boy has since then has a body of this canvas and pigments and painting, etc. Some material body is got, a totally new kind, where his denuded being the character of him, if it's a portrait, I mean, it's the character of that person. It's telling everything maximally about that person, situation, etc. That's a portrait. He lives there. So this is how art originated. This is, if you look at a owlish way of looking at things, this is it. It's owlish way. Now, can we go further? Okay, I'm sort of doing something bookish because the owl, once it digests the atoms which it spots around the world quickly, everybody eats food, but the owl eats atoms, totally decomposed food. Whatever it has, what it sees, it decomposes it. It decomposes into parts, and eats those parts. That is a book, those parts, and their digestion of a kind. So there is, and then after Brahma has taught the art of painting, initial, he said, now go to Vishwakarma and learn all the rest of the art of painting. And now you will not be known as Bhaijit. What you will be known is as Nagdajit, as one who has conquered the realm of disembodied, denuded people. One who has conquered that. What is this realm of denuded and world? It's a realm of our memories. Who lives in memories? Facsimils live in memory. Totally disembodied things live in memory. And we bring them back into our cognition to understand or to deal with them, the memories. Only one who has had a conquest over memories is the best artist. Who is the artist? Who can conquer memory? Who conquers Parlok? Where dwell all beings which are bare? The bare beings are like atoms. They are like atoms. And out of those atoms, we compose things, digest those atoms, and give it a new body, embody it, give it a body of matter. All art presumes a body of matter. There is no art which doesn't have a body of matter. Anyway, this disembodied realm, there's embodied realm, there's a disembodied realm, there's a Yam, there is Chitragupta who's sort of taking accounts of deeds of people, all good, bad deeds, and he's helped by his wife, who is Chaya, impressions of everybody. All the impressions are they are mulled over, reflected on, and when the denuded person comes, this fact sheet of your life is open to that person and shown, and the person has to handle one's fact sheet of life there. That person is a denuded person, and this gets the disembodied realm, the realm of memory, is called in a variety of way. It's called Parlok, it's called all kind of things in various languages, and it is embodied in our imagination. We mull over with a fund from memory. We keep mulling over from the fund which fleeces across time, which is memory. From memory, we keep mulling across. And this mulling, this engagement of imagination finds a body through our action. Through action, we embody something. When we paint or make something, we embody that. And it becomes, that embodied thing becomes useful, it becomes a work of art. It acquires a body. Now, what really is a work of art? If you ask this question, the next. Okay, now we really go to the atoms of art. Real atoms, conceptual atoms of art. Very analytic stuff. And each of us have certain one kind of notice which we can make is the way we witness our own self. Nobody else can do that ever. The way I witness myself, nobody else can witness me like that. The other person will witness the other person. Not the vividity of my witnessing is inert. That it's internal to me, that vividity. The witnessing has extreme solitude in it. It's solitary. The pure witness is solitary. There is no other witness around. And this solitariness is its uniqueness. And there is something called, or one can say, inert privacy in each of us. So much so that even some people like Leibniz said, each of us are a windowless enclosure, a windowless monads. Nothing leaks out of us, nothing comes into it, except for images, except for reflection. And there is a windowless monad which each of us are because of the solitariness of witnessing. We have an isolated spectator of the enclosed spectacle in our minds, in which is disclosed the world. Somehow the world is disclosed in our imagination. And when the world is disclosed in our imagination, we want to act it out. And we want to tell it to others, other witnesses. How do I tell anything which is inertly witnessed to other witnesses? How do I tell that? A condition under which what I witness, the spectacle which I have, can be witnessed by other people. That condition is called art. Art is that condition. When whatever I witness in my solitariness, as a soliton, that is, I am mulling over it, I am consuming it, but I have urgency or tendency to show it to others. How do I show it? It can't be shown. Only way is to somehow imprint it on some chunk of matter. When I imprint it on some chunk of matter, like I paint that boy and leave the painting somewhere. I have imagined that boy and I have arranged the pieces or some stuff of matter which I call painting, and then some other witness comes and sees the painting, sees the boy. I couldn't show it, my solitary witness couldn't show it, but here one could, the other person could see it. By doing actions, what action means is to embed a third person imagination into a chunk of matter, arrangement of matter. Next. And the next. And the next. Or or previous one would do also. Now, this enclosure in the matter is called art. It's called work of art, rather. All works of art, painting, music, this, that, everything which we see are somehow catching a piece of matter and putting my imagination into it and embedding it there. A matter has a property that it can embed imagination of people, solitary people. And this embedding is witnessed by others. This is the way we witness each other. We witness each other through art. Everything. There is hardly a piece of matter which you can find right in our purviews here, which doesn't have a human signature in it, which doesn't have, can anybody find a structure here, including each of us and our bodies and our minds, our psychologies, our memories, including all of them, which are here, where there is no touch of, no signature of imagination. We can't. The world is heavily laid, heavily intertwined in a very discreet way with imaginations, with beings from solitary witness. All this, it is ingrained everywhere. We keep mulling over them, we keep reading them, we keep writing them. This is what life is all about. But what is interesting for the art people is to see what is that formation of matter in which you can leave your imagination for plural witnessing. Plural witnesses. What is the formation in matter? What kind of things is made of? What quarks? What kind of stuff? What is the cosmology of this formations of matter? We find there are two things. There are some enclosures which have a strange property of time. By looking at time, we can divide the formations of matter into two. One is synchronic, what appears at a moment. There are certain formations of matter which can disclose certain closures of matter, which can disclose stuff which is at one time. They are synchronic enclosures. There are other enclosures which are diachronic. Diachronic enclosures are that which enclose stuff which is not found at any one time. They are found across time. That is, in the diachronic enclosures has temporal parts. All parts of it are never found in one moment. They are found over time. Music is a diachronic art. Sculpting is a synchronic art, because the formations of matter in which one can do art, that formations of matter are such. There are diachronic formations, there are synchronic formations. So the next slide. If you look at that, I mean, it's very simply said that the architecture, etc., are synchronic forms, but this is minimal statement about the nature of material formations. One needs to do a proper physics of art, and and then you have diachronic arts. The difference between these two kind of enclosures is that they disclose something very strange, different. For instance, a synchronic enclosure would disclose diachronicity, movement. Every painting, interiors of it are movements, fluidities. Every painting spills in time. Though the enclosure is synchronic, the interiors of painting are completely diachronic. Though of musics, the enclosures, the material formations, which is our speech, etc., it's the material things, our actions. In music, the enclosures are diachronic. Music takes time to be done. But what it discloses is synchronic, some kind of sthai bhav it discloses. These are the formations you can see among various art forms. One can build lots of rich discourse on this cartoon or this slide, really seeing relations between various art forms. And like painting is a kind of disclosure, as if there is a formation of matter which encloses something. The strokes are material formations which disclose internal space in some way. The sculptures are radiant. Nobody has ever sculpted anything but the surface. There is no sculpture, ever since mankind is there, which is not sculpting on surface or chiseling on surface, or surface sculpture is the art of surface, a 3D kind of art, because we can go around it. We cannot go around painting. Painting we can go, it will be in chunks and things like that. We have to pass through another painting. If you have to go around painting, we have to pass through another painting, at least minimally, or several others. But sculpture we can go around. It's radiant. If painting is an implosion, sculpture is an explosion. It's explosion on which it doesn't matter what is interior of that sculpture, what better it is made, because if there is a sculpture of something, Buddha there, it's a work of surface. In that surface, inside is ingrained image of Buddha. Buddha is created by the surface inside. It doesn't matter what is there inside that, because that person, that imagination of Buddha has been inscribed into it, has been hardwired into it. But the methods, the space-times are different. If you look at space-time, we get lots and lots of detail. The interiors of synchronic arts are iconic, whereas the interiors of diachronic arts are eventual. And there is certain grammars involved in that. There is certain thematic things. There is a motion from icon to event in every architecture. For example, architecture. What is architecture? Architecture is a cuboid, a breathing cuboid. All architectures are breathing cuboids, doors and windows. Like nothing can breathe into sculpture, nothing can breathe out of painting. A synchronic formation of matter where there is a breathing in and out. This formation is such, like in painting, people spend, these are various space-time inferences I am drawing for you. This is outlook of an owlish outlook about art. If I look at painting, I spend my time. Spectator spends one's own time. If I look at sculpture, I spend my time. My time I spend by looking at sculpture. But architecture is that enclosure in which I surrender my time. I give up my time. I live in other times. Architecture has others' time. Walls, घर घर कुछ कहता है. They can be haunted houses. That I can give myself up of my body with a security. I can get a security. That is architecture. You breathe out. There are other times involved. And similarly, in sort of diachronic way, there is architecture is when you think of it as diachronically, it is drama and films. Drama and films. And sculptures, you think diachronically, features, you'll see it's dance. And lots of details. This diagram is full of things. Next one. And including this diagram, it says something, previous. Including this, it says that these enclosures are non-body material and these are body matters. And there is blending of space-time which happens differently in this. And the kind of unfolding, carving, merging, stretching, stitching, collapsing, and all kind of transformations are done in this material enclosure. For instance, when I'm painting, what am I doing? I have put a stroke, something, canvas or whatever wall. What have I done? I mean, the stroke is a deposition of matter. But the stroke hides in it a depth. A line is a hidden square. It's edge. A point is a hidden line. Put another stroke. What is hidden behind first stroke, that gets unfurled, absolutely unfurled. And the topos, the space change inside, other stroke, then you put another stroke. We keep changing the space which is hidden by them. In the end is a painting. It's a topological, it's a purely mathematical, it's a act, a painting. And so anyway, I will leave with these words. Next one. This is the Bhutanese owl, and it is understanding, what I've said is an understanding of this owl, which has in it digested stuff in the stomach. Owl thinks by the stomach, not through eyes, not through eating. And the digestive stuff is what I've said. And so I thought there was a sound which could have been a little louder than it was. That sound which we put in, I wasn't able to hear that sound. Yeah. Increase the volume. There was a sound running through the lecture. This is how owl talks. This is how it talks. And it can talk almost like any other bird and also like animals. There would be some sounds where there were animals. Owls are bringing out that. So that's it. Oh, we can show that video. This is act of what we did for those images. beautiful as a great work of art.
Any questions? Okay, I have a question. So, I just wanted to know, like, why owl? I mean, why was your vision through an owl? I mean, till now, whatever you've actually spoken. So, why was it from a vision through an owl? Yeah.
Google onto owl. Look at YouTube. Look at sounds of owl. Look at what owl can do. There is a video you will find very quickly in a couple of little searches, in which is totally dark, no light, experimentally made, absolute, no, totally dark. And you have all kinds of maze with sticks done. And there is infrared camera. And the way owl flies through that maze, you will know what owl can see. The way it flies through those mazes, total pitch dark, and the camera is infrared on some other zone. So owl sees very far, and it can hear feeblest of sounds. But Kanad is a rishi which of Vaisheshik darshan in the tradition, and Kanad's name is Uluk.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Singh ji. It is wonderful having you at the 11th edition of Krishnakriti Annual Festival of Art and Culture. We end today's program here. I would once again like to thank Shivkumar ji and Navjyoti Singh ji for making the evening interesting. We would like to thank all the committee members of Krishnakriti Foundation for their constant support. We thank every single artist who has helped us contribute with the foundation. We thank our sponsors, partners and associates. We thank the electronic and print media for their strong support and contributions. Last but not least, thank you audience for your participation and attention. We look forward to seeing you at our upcoming events of the 11th edition of Krishnakriti Annual Festival of Art and Culture. Thank you and have a good night.